of sits in the middle range of terrestrial scanning products. You've got the BLK360, which I've got inside. If anyone wants to have a look at that later, I've got it in a bag in there. That's a smaller scanner, ideally suited for interior mapping, architectural type applications. Not quite as accurate as this one or the next scanner above this. Reasonably quick, reasonably easy to use, and then the step up is now this one, the RTC360. So middle of the range. It's actually the fastest scanner in terms of data collection at the moment out there. Its accuracy is quite good, although it's not as good as the P series. I don't know if anyone here's heard of a P30 or P40 scanner, yeah? So they're sitting right up the top with the high-end specialist surveying applications, and you guys will probably see them in your careers, I would say. But the beauty about this one is it's so easy to use, it's so fast, the data quality is good enough for most applications, and it's got some really cool features. So without boring you on too much of the hype, what I thought I'd do today is just do a capture around the outside of this building, and if we get time, we might go inside as well if we can. But the first group, by the way, you use the iPad to control it. That's one option. You don't have to use the iPad, you can just control it on the screen here if you want to. If you come in a bit closer and have a look at this screen, this is what we collected just in the last 15 minutes. So we started here, and we went around that way and got sort of to that back corner. So this is a top-down view of the point cloud data that we've collected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scans. The first 5 are all registered and they're all in one bundle. A bundle is just a collection of scans that have been registered. Does everyone know what I mean when I say registered? Yeah. 95% automatic, just you click a few buttons and it's done. And I'll show you that when we do a few scans. So yeah, we've got one bundle, one scan here sitting out by itself still. I just haven't got around to joining that. I can see a 360 view, so a photo view if I want to of the area. So it's a 360 panorama. I can also see the 3D point cloud preview. So this is the bundle. It's a little bit hard to control upside down looking at it, but you can zoom in. It gives you a preview of everything you've captured. So it's great to see what you might have missed, what shadow areas you've got. You can control. So it might be easier to look at a white point color. Point color white. Just in the daylight, it's a little bit easier to see. So yeah, basically it's a preliminary registration which will flow through into the Office software, and then you review it and you optimise the registration back there. But having done it here, it's saving you heaps of time in the Office, not having to sit there manually joining one by one. So I'm going to walk around the back now. If you want to follow me, we'll go around to where I want to do the first scan, and we'll do some scanning. This onboard registration is all cloud to cloud based, so that just means it takes the point cloud 1 and point cloud 2 and does an XYZ shift and rotation to match them together. And it's doing that based on the fixed objects around it. And here it'll be looking at the buildings and anything like the cars and the ground and the trees. They all go together to improve the robustness of that cloud-to-cloud fit. So that's what's happening here. I'm not using any targets. That's obviously an option, and there'll be certain environments where that's the only way to do it. And as surveyors, you'll be able to pick up on when is the right time to use targets and when you can just go through a site quickly without them. If I was in a flat paddock with a bit of vegetation around, no buildings, nothing really of any substance for the cloud-to-cloud registration to work from, then I'd be forced to use targets if I wanted to join scans together. Yeah. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay, so my last scan was about where Andrew's standing. So I've moved 5 meters or so. Let's do another one here. A little bit hard to see on here, I know, but I'm just going to hit this button on the left, which is like a target. And then I'm presented with some settings, so I can change my resolution, low, medium or high. Let's do a medium. So that's the resolution of the point cloud. To give you an idea, medium res means at 10 meters from the scanner, if I was looking at a flat wall, I would see a 6 by 6 mil point spacing.
Yeah.
High res is 3 by 3 mil and low res 12 by 12. And the next option is whether I want to take photography or not. That's just simply on or off. You'll notice the time, the moment it's 1 minute 51, that's how long my scan will take. If I turn the photos off, it goes down to 51 seconds. So the photos always take 1 minute. If you take photos, then you get a colorized point cloud. If you don't, the point cloud's just either grayscale or an intensity-based color map. I'm going to hit play just to get it going. The third setting there was a feature specific to this scanner. It's a dual scan. So if you've got a lot of pedestrian movement going past, and you know it's going to just be a pain. They're going to have all this noise in the final data set. You can do 2 scans, and if it measures, say I'm standing here in the first scan, it'll scan me, and then if I move, and when it passes the same spot in the second scan, it then sees the building behind where I was. It'll filter out me. So that's another time saver.
And it doesn't need to be level?
It doesn't need to be level, no. There's actually no level bubble on there. So a big part of this scanner is that there's an inertial sensor in there which measures the pitch, roll and yaw wherever it's sitting. So yeah, every time you plonk it down, you can see it's not level, but it doesn't matter. It'll just measure those rotations and apply that to the data.
So how do you determine how much it scans?
It just scans the 360.
Oh, it did do all this?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that's the scan done. Yeah, it's really fast. Now it's taking photos, and the photos are taken out. It's looking out that way at the moment. There's a lens that goes up, one that sort of goes out, and one down.
And what's the distance between the scans when you accept it?
It's dependent on what's around you. Like here I haven't gone very far because I want to make sure, I don't want to go too far because if I go right up there, there'll be no overlap between my last scan and the next scan. So if you're in a closed-in environment, you reduce your spacing. If you're in a big warehouse or something, you could go 50 metres perhaps, 20, whatever. So they're the sort of things that you're thinking about, and you'll get used to what works best if you ever start using the scanner.
Are these everything here scanners, or are they taking photos, or do
They're good question. So one of the nifty tricks with this scanner is it's got a VIS system, a VIS system. It's a new term coined by Leica for this system, and it stands for Visual Inertial System. That's combining visual information from these lenses around the side, and there's one on top, with the inertial measurements as you pick up the tripod or scanner and move it to the next location. So it's tracking that 3D trajectory as you move it, and when you plonk it down for the next scan, do the scan, it will plot in the correct location on the map. So that's what those lenses are doing. They're kind of operating behind the scenes, and you'll see, this is what I love about this scanner. Even though before your group I got to here, then I picked the whole thing up, walked back to meet you around the front, and then we came back around. It was tracking all that time. And now this last scan, which is that one there, has plotted in the correct location within the accuracy of the viz system. So feel free to, we'll just move up, we'll keep progressing, but I'll pass this iPad around so you can have a look at where it's been plotted. You'll see there's a solid green light in the middle of the scanner. That just means it's in a ready sort of mode. If I pick it up, start moving it, it'll start blinking green. So that indicates the viz system is active. If I put it down, it'll go solid green again. So it's tracked from here through the movement to there. It's tracked that movement and it's ready to go. So let's move it on.
You know, here's the trust in the background. You have to select it to do that?
No, it all happens behind the scenes.
Okay.
Yeah. The fourth setting here, which I kind of skipped over before, if I do a new scan, trying to find some area where there's some shade. So new scan, the fourth setting here is the viz system on or off. So I can turn that functionality off if I want to. We're basically going to have that on all the time because it just helps you. I'll hit start to get this one going. One situation where I can think you might not want the viz system active is if you're on a boat or some sort of floating platform and it was moving with the swell of the water. So the inertial is measuring that movement, but the lenses are actually locked to fixed objects on the boat, for example. So I think that will confuse the viz system because its two sensors are not correlating. So in that case, you probably want to turn the viz system off. But if you're on ground-based, on the ground, I would say just leave it on. Yeah. If you got any questions, just yell out. So while that's scanning, I'm going to I want to link these two scans to my bundle. So now I'm actually going to do the registration in the field. So come in a bit closer. So here's our first bundle, and then here's our last two scans. To join this scan to that one, I select it and I click this button, which is link, and it says please select second setup to link. So I select that one. I could select this one, but I know there's going to be very minimal overlap between this one and that one, so that's why I go to that scan. Then I click start alignment, and it shows you this map where one scan is blue and one scan is orange, and they're already overlapping really nicely because I've got the viz system on. So all I need to do is just hit optimize. The maths kicks in and it actually calculates the transformation sort of applicable between those two. And then I click create a link, and then that's now added to that bundle. And here's our newest scan up here. So I can click on that one, click create a link, select the one I want to link it to, click start alignment, optimize and create link. If for some reason the viz system failed, and it's a real world. Things happen. Maybe you've got to change the battery or something, which would mean the viz would go back to 0, 0. If the scan, say this was plotted over here and maybe on some weird angle, all I need to do is go into this screen and click and drag and visually align the blue to the orange. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but I get it as close as I can. Something like that. I can check from an elevation view as well, and I can rotate that to have a look. If I need to move it, I can click and drag one or the other. It's easier to do in the top-down view. Once I'm pretty happy with it, then I can click optimize. The registration creates a match and then create a link, and there we go. It's part of the bundle. So does someone want to hold this and maybe do the next scan? Yep. Yeah, it does. It's all dependent on what's around you. Like, although we're only interested in this house probably for this survey, it's going to pick up on trees and fences and cars and stuff back there, all to help it register together. Yeah. So to doing your scan, just deselect that one, hit that button on the left, and yeah, hit play. Obviously, if you want to change the resolution or turn the photos off or something, you can before you hit that play button.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you just...
So this system only work with iPad, non-Android?
you can use an Android
Yeah.
device as well, yeah. But you do have to have some minimum specs. This is an iPad Pro,
Yeah.
so you'd need sort of the equivalent Android device.
Yeah.
See the drone over there watching us from afar. It's actually can be really quick. If you don't want to bring it all to the side, so you're not bringing it in here. All you need to do is comes in as you see.
Can you hold it?
You click a button and looks for any additional overlapping links that might be relevant. You click optimize. It recalculates the registration, and then you just go yes, accept, and step through and just get
Done.
And it is a piece of audio work,
yeah.
and it is very heavy in some of the work you see every day.
Yeah.
Obviously it's
So you're taking
The
photos.
station. Yeah.
Yeah, can you go find it?
This is what
Do
this
you
is
have
called.
something that's in between the two that's not quite so heavy?
In between this and the P.
Yeah,
Woody.
yeah.
No.
Does not do anything.
So it's that sort of thing that's written down from the 40.